Hi guys, welcome back to the Forgetful Scholar, and this week, no books. So, I had a huge slump during the week, and I was super busy with work and everything like that, so I didn't get to it, and I was like, hey, I have this weekend, I could do that, right? I can at least, get one book done during the week, because I did have 2 books set up for me to read this week. However, Saturday afternoon, boom, with a migraine. And it just let up basically this morning. I still have a little bit of the pain behind my eyes, like I move my head too much. So since I felt weird not posting a video this week, which I don't really know how to process this, that you guys became like a lovely habit, anyway, we're here. I came up with a book tag. I haven't really seen many book tags this year. Granted, it's only the 3rd month of this year. But hey, maybe it'll be fun, right? Okay, so I call it the Which and Why book tag. So, all right, let's get started. What book this year surprised you in a good way and why? So, I think if you guys have been here a bit, a lot of these books are just going to be revised, I guess. But anyway, so The 6-Night Truce, the West Oaks Heroes, Book 1 by Hannah Shield. It surprised me in a good way because, again, contemporary romances aren't really my thing. It's really hard for me to find one I enjoyed, and I freaking love this one. And enemies to lovers is my favorite trope, and I'm super picky about it. And this one I really, really liked because it made sense why they were enemies, and it made sense why they got together and put that behind them. Like, it was all really good, a lot of fun, and I liked that the woman character wasn't like demonized, and I like that she was a modern woman and she knew how to do shit, you know what I mean? Because sometimes in contemporary romances, like, the guys have historical romance hero energy, and like, that's fine if you're writing a book 1800s, but if a guy acted like that now, bear spray right in the face. Bear spray. So that was the book that surprised me this year in a good way. Okay. 2, what book this year threw you into a reading slump and why? So this is an older Lisa Kleypas book that I picked up, Where Dreams Begin by Lisa Kleypas. It was, man. So basically, Holly is a widow. This is 1800s. Holly is a widow. She meets a man, I forget his name, Zach. And he's an industrialist, and basically it's supposed to be a romance between those two. But Holly wouldn't stop, like, internally thinking about her dead husband. Until the point, even, like, the add-on, bonus chapter at the end of the book was about her dead husband. And I was like, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a romance between her and Zach, not her and the dead guy. You know? So that, I hated it so much. Also, When Dreams Begin, also Lisa Kleypas. Why do your titles make no goddamn sense? Anyway, so that was one that threw me into reading slip that I'm trying to claw back out of. Did you find a new author / how many? If so, how many would you like this year that you like this year, and why? So I found 3 new authors. Hannah Shields, they write suspense romance for the most part. At least that's the book series that I picked up. Kate Bateman, historical romance. Now, I do like her. It's just so far I have 1 book of hers that I really liked and 1 I DNF'd, but I'm going to try more of her books because I really like the first one, and I don't mind her writing style. It's just the 1 I DNF'd. Sometimes it happens. You love you really enjoy an author work. Doesn't mean you enjoy every single title they put out, right? Okay. And the 3rd one, Rachel McLean, and that's contemporary crime drama mystery. I very much enjoyed it. It was the Dorset Crimes? Dorset Bodies? Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the main character. I'm like, fingers crossed that's going to be a subplot of sapphic romance. I really hope so. Because that'll be great for her. Yeah, I love that. And it was like I was watching a British crime drama, which I also enjoy. So I found 3 new authors this year that I really liked. Okay. What book / author have you been putting off and why? I've been putting off... Okay. So you guys know how Under the Chill Elephant is my TBR for romance, and Under the Chill Lion is my TBR for mystery, like cozy mysteries and stuff like that. So I've been putting off Vivian Chang, the Noodle Shop Mysteries, and Julie Garwood for 2 very different reasons. The Noodle Mysteries I've been putting off because unfortunately they're like published under a company that a lot of people are boycotting at right now. So even though I love them and I want to talk about them and I want to read them, I don't want to promote that publishing company at this time. Hopefully they get their shit together and I could talk about these books because I really enjoyed them. And yes, like the boycott, you could read the books privately, but I really want to share them with you guys. So I'm holding off on that. Julie Garwood, who passed away, I believe, last year. It's not so much anything... The only reason I'm putting her off is because when I got the books, happens being a mood reader, I really liked the synopsis and I was excited about them, right? And then I put them down, and now every time I go to my physical TBR shelf and I read the synopsis, I'm not interested. So hopefully soon I'll be like, oh, I'm in the mood for this, you know? So very 2 different reasons for those books. What book series are you bummed that is ended last book of the series so far this year? So that would be the Secrets in Scrabble series by Joss Landon. I love that series. The mystery part of it for like 3 of the books needed work, but for the other ones, I loved it. It is 7 books so far. The last book I just finished this year. Nothing new has come out so far. I hope it's not the last one. I love this book series. I love Ellery. He's the main character. I love the town. There's something about this series. Now, granted, sometimes the mysteries aren't the best, and sometimes the romance makes me want to claw out my own eyeballs. But there's something about this series. There's something so charming, something so wonderful. Like the secondary characters, I love them so much. And there's this feel to the writing that that these characters didn't just pop up when you started reading these books. It feels like you're just peeking in on them as they live their lives. There's just something about the feel of it. The secondary characters are so rich and have depth and so interesting. And at the same time, the author's very good of keeping them secondary characters. You know what I mean? And I love it so much. And I just want more. And I hope the series continues. I really hope the series continues. Okay. What book / books this year do you think would make a fun movie? So I put 2 examples, right? So the Monster Loves Curvy Girl series by Michelle Mills for sort of a romantic sci-fi comedy. I think those would be really funny because there's such a humor in these books. And the sci-fi world is built so effortlessly. I think it would be a hoot. You know, one of those... I would definitely go see it in the theater. But like one of those books you see the preview for and you're like, what the hell? I'm gonna have to check that out because that looks weird as shit. And like when you're thinking about going, you're like, oh, at the worst, I'll like it how bad it is. You know what I mean? But I think it would be really a lot of fun because I don't think there is much sci-fi romance, like comedy romance, but movies, right? I don't, just like sci-fi action, right? So I think that would be a lot of fun, just like for something different. And I put the 5-Minute Mistakes from the West Oaks Heroes by Hannah Shield. I think that would be like, because when I was reading it, it just felt like a classic action movie with like romance subplot. Because, I mean, there'll probably be more explosions, right? But basically, these 2 comps are like thrown into like this conspiracy that like might go all the way up to the mayor. And I don't want to give a lot away because it was fun reading it, and just like the romance between the 2 characters was a lot of fun. And it just made me think think of like the like older 80s action movies. Like, I feel like the two leads would kind of have the chemistry of, if you've ever seen Demolition Man, how young Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone, that kind of chemistry, I think it would be a lot of fun. I think that those two books would be a lot of fun. All right. What books/series this year do you think would make a fun TV show? Okay, so Secrets and Scrabbles by Josh Landon. It's a cozy mystery. Again, I'm going to be repeating a lot of books. You can tell which were my favorite so far this year. Again, it has such a great vibe, and like the cast would be so much fun. It makes you think of like Murder, She Wrote, because it's a little fun. It doesn't seem to take itself seriously, but still there's a lot to it and it's a lot of fun. My lipstick is just smeared like crazy. We're going to continue. I can't believe I didn't notice that before. Anyway, also it would be nice to see like a gay couple lead, like a gay character as like the head detective. Like, cause Ellery is gay and he's solving all these crimes, you know what I mean? The chief of police is, bi, and like, you know, so it would be just nice to see that. Like, it's 2024, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would just be nice to see that, like, on Netflix or Hulu or something, because I don't fucking watch TV anymore. It's just streaming services, right? And I think that would be a lot of fun. Especially the kooky, silly secondary characters that fill out this really rich world. And, like, it takes place in a town that was founded by pirates. Like, everybody likes pirates. Pirates are fucking interesting. Like, again, 2024, I want to see a gay, or like, you know, someone in the rainbow community as a lead character who isn't like a stereotype. Because Ellery is not a stereotype, you know, and I really, really love that. He's not this like insulting stereotype. He's just a dude who has problems, who isn't perfect, and I love that. You know what I mean? So that would be such a fun. I don't know why I'm getting so heated. I feel like I'm yelling at like movie execs, like TV execs. This is what I want. Do it. Okay. This is like an unhinged. And oh my god, my head hurts. Okay. What new genre have you found and liked this year, if any? So I found a couple. One I DNF'd. But it was like fantasy humor, like fantasy comedy. And it was just because I just didn't jive with the humor. But I was like, oh, that's a new genre I kind of want to explore, you know? It kind of made me think of Mog World a little bit. So, and I really love that book. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Crime drama, you know? Not so much cozy mysteries because I've been reading those for a while. But this was more like drama, crime scene, intense kind of like a TV show, more like NCIS and stuff like that, which I actually had fun. The Dorset Crimes, I like that, by Rochelle McLean. Suspense romance with the West Oak Heroes by Hannah Shields, because I didn't really realize there was contemporary suspense romance. You know what I mean? It just feels like every time I blink, there's a new subgenre for romance, like romantasy is a thing now. And like, I always thought, you know, Faye was just in the paranormal romance category, but I guess romantasy, I guess it has a lot of tropes from fantasy itself in it. So maybe that's why it's categorized that way. So that's cool. So it just seems like the romance genre just has all these branches going out. So like every time I blink. So suspense romance, I had a lot of fun. Because it's just like watching like, or I should say reading, almost like a Hollywood movie, but like better. I'm sorry, it's better. I like books better than movies in this subject because you get to be in their head. You know what I mean? That's a whole different rant, and I'm trying to stay focused, but my head is starting to hurt. So let's continue. What books this year, if any, helped you out of a reading slump? The Scottish Ladies Detective Agency, book 1 by Lydia Travers. That really helped me because I was really fighting against the reading slump. I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this. It wasn't like that much fun at the moment. And then I read this book and I had so much fun. It's like chaotic. You go like freaking amazing book about two Scottish women in the early 1900s dealing with misogyny, trying to build their own business, and Daisy, who's a secondary character, like, I love her. Like, we are on the same brain wave. Like, I love her. So that really helped a lot. What is the first book you read this year? So the first book I read was actually a DNF, unfortunately. Hopefully that doesn't like mean anything for my year to come. That book was That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. Mead and Mishaps, Book 1 by Kimberly Lemon. Again, it's just a humor fantasy, which I find fascinating genre that I kind of want to delve into because, you know, fantasy is not my biggest genre I like. I would say romance and then cozy mysteries are a close second. So I'm kind of picky. Like, I don't know, just a lot of tropes for fantasy is just not my thing. I don't like love triangles. They drive me nuts because I just feel it's very, like, immature. So I get that in a YA, but like in a, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum. I'm just, my opinion, it's not my thing. But like, I love funny. Like, I love to laugh. And again, humor is subjective, but maybe I could find a writer that has the same humor as me, and that could be a lot of fun, like to delve a little deeper into the fantasy realm, especially since my big sister loves it, you know? So that could be cool. All right, and let's see. Which main character is your favorite so far this year? P.I. Rory Byrne from Light Camera Murder, the Silver Screen Book 1 by c.s.poe. Now, I love c.s.poe. They did, though, a Snow and Winter series that I freaking am obsessed with. Obsessed with. I keep playing with the strings of my hoodie. Okay, ADHD. All right. Focus. Okay, so I really enjoyed him because he's different. Like, he is a gay character, right? But his personality is so different. It's so controlled. It's so cold. It's so dissecting. Like, he's the top PI in the firm. He's like in his 40s, so he's a little bit more mature. No real insecurities, which I liked, but like, he sees everything as like a mystery to kind of pull apart. And some part of me thought like maybe that's how, I'm such a nerd, but like maybe that's how Batman kind of sees things. Such a nerd. Like, kind of, you know, case wise pull apart. Oh, they did this, they did this. Not smoker. Oh, a smoker. I should grab a cigarette so I could get some intel. Like, it was interesting. And when we pop in on Rory, his relationship he was in is completely dissolved in a bad way. And he's still very, like, emotionally cold about it. And it was wonderful seeing him go from that, like, protecting himself in that way, to seeing him fall, not, I wouldn't say in love, in like, because they're not in love yet, but start to open himself up to this huge actor that he's sort of kind of investigating. So I really enjoyed that journey with him, and it was such an interesting, different kind of personality to be in the head of, right? Like, such a calculating person, and it was almost like, well, if the story was different, I could totally see Rory being a villain, you know? So it was really, really interesting, and I very much enjoyed it. Which secondary character is your favorite this year? Daisy from the Scottish Ladies Detective Agency, Book 1, by Lydia Travers. I love Daisy. I love Daisy so much. I love how she, her last scene in the book, so much fun. Me and Daisy, I get her. I want to, like, buy her a drink. Like, I want to have a conversation with her. I enjoy her so much. She's funny. She's resourceful. And she doesn't have, like, my hair is just crazy. I don't know what's going on today visually, just for, like, the only time ever here in the desert. It's humid, so forgive this. Anyway, Daisy's industrious. She's really smart, but, like, she didn't have, because she was the main girl's lady maid, before they became partners in the detective agency. So she's not, like, classically educated, but but she's spunky as hell and I love her so much. Okay, and because I'm me and I'm bloodthirsty, this is going to be the last question. If there is a fictional character this year that you would like to slap, if given a chance. Yes. Yes, there is. Again, in the Lights, Camera, Murder, Silver Screen, Book 1 by c.s.poe, Rory's the PI, the main character that we're in the POV of. When we start off, he is like just broken up with Nate, his ex-boyfriend. Now, Nate, I hate him. If I could, I would slap the shit out of him. He's a cheater, which I do not put up with. No. He's a cheater, but not only that, he pops in, like, I think 2 more times in the book. One on a phone call, another in person, to basically, like, just release this horrible, abusive, verbal vitriol on Rory, you know? And Rory just kind of takes it, which I hate as well, because Nate cheated on him multiple times with coworkers. So he cheats on him multiple times with his coworkers and then blames Rory. So, like, that's horrible. He knew Rory worked a lot. He knew how Rory was. Rory warned him multiple times. He still wanted to get into a relationship. Okay. Instead of talking about it, he cheated on him with his coworkers, and I'm assuming friendly, maybe. I don't know. Rory doesn't really seem like he has a lot of friends on purpose. And then calls him up and, like, just verbally abuses him and try to blame him for Nate fucking around, right? And then when that didn't work, Nate is like, well, I fucked your friends too, or your coworkers too. And Rory's like, I know, and hangs up. Good for Rory, right? And then later, when Rory's going through this case and he's having, like, emotional upheaval because he's falling in like with one of the main suspects, and he's like, oh shit, you know? Because he's very, like, his job is who he is. He's a fascinating character. Go give it a read. Fascinating. Nate shows up physically with his key he still has, and, like, just tries to have sex with him, and he's like, no. And, like, and good for Rory, because, like, you know, ex relationships can be complicated. And then he just verbally abuses Rory. So, like, if I could, I'll put on, like, all the big chunky rings I have and just slap him over and over and over again. It'd be worth going to jail for. Yeah, that's the last question I have. So I'll put all the questions below, and I think I'm going to tag Rachel Reed's in this, because I think she's fantastic. And if she doesn't do it, that's cool. I just thought it'd be kind of a fun thing in case, like me, you had a reading slump and you don't know, and you had a reading slump and you haven't read any books, and you still want to put out a video. So I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.